I was completely surprised because, of course, we discussed this at the faculty meetings. That's going to be this award for the first time. I actually raised some objections, concerns. I said it's kind of strange to have one award for all the faculty across all the programs who teach many students, a few students. I knew it's impossible really to run for it, right? You just do what you do. And it was a great, amazing surprise when I learned about it, of course. It's nice to know that you click with students just 2 years after you came here. It was my second year at the school. My main course, I suspect, I never seen this course, right? But I teach in our master's, Grande École and PhD programs. My main course is the organizational behavior course, which is a required course for our master's students. And I suspect it's primarily their vote that made the difference. I think what I heard from them, that first of all, they told me it's a required course, that everybody must take it, and it's a bit boring. But I managed to make it interesting. They told me that what they liked a lot, I heard again a few opinions, but you never know how widespread it is, that this communicative style, which I brought from my US experience, I taught in the US for 10 years before I came to ESSEC, that they felt it new, although I don't think I'm the only one who does it. I use some technology, which is now fashionable, to get the opinions in the classroom in real time, to poll them using these devices, audience response systems that I know they liked a lot. It helps me keep them awake and focused on what I tell them, because they can be asked any time to take a vote and so on. So they like, I think, the participative style. And otherwise, I think it's just you bring to the class all your experience, your knowledge, your personality. The fact that I studied and worked in so many different settings, I think is interesting for them too. They want to be international, global. And I taught this course, my main course, in Singapore, actually, which also this mixture of things and things you can bring to the table. I think it's the main part of what probably made it successful for them. Yeah, it's a very convoluted and long path, but I'm from Belarus originally, from Brest. Now when my French friends and colleagues see Brest, they ask, are you Breton? I am not, but it's the same name, the city on the border with Poland. I grew up there, I studied in Moscow, I'm a graduate of Moscow University. I worked in Russia, and when the Soviet Union collapsed, I became a Russian citizen. Then I became interested at that stage, all these changes were so fascinating. I became interested in sociology, and initially I was trained as a mathematician. So I pursued sociology, I did a lot of polling and research, and with my math skills it was easy to do in the Soviet Union before its collapse and right afterwards. And then eventually I started working with foreign professors from all kinds of different countries and met some American scientists, sociologists, who invited me to pursue a PhD. So I went to Stanford at the time when it was this internet boom and did my PhD in this fascinating environment. Finished, taught, as my first job was at the University of Chicago Business School, then Wharton. And so all these different events, environments, and of course it was quite an experience, which I'm happy. And at the same time, France was always interesting for me because I studied French at my secondary school back in Belarus. But in the Soviet Union, you could not go anywhere and really practice the language. So in that sense, for me, there are strong cultural links to France in the former Soviet Union, of course. And so all these things were very interesting. I knew a lot about Paris before I came here. But now it's kind of I think all these things together worked out nicely, because for me it's also interesting to be here and work here. I think pretty much I try to be still a professor, because now we have this kind of, in particular in business schools, there's sometimes an idea that it's like serving clients, right? I don't like that, and I think in France it's still, there's a more traditional attitude, relationship between student and professor. You see how students relate to you, you're not serving them, you teach them. At the same time, I want to be kind of down the earth. It's not broadcasting top down, it's being interactive and build a relationship. And I tell them that we create this knowledge together. Because whatever I tell them, it's the question how they understand, whether they pay attention at all. And whatever is produced as a result, it's actually the result of the interaction, not my skill, just my skill. So that's what I'm trying to do. Otherwise, I try to bring my research also, of course, to on the table. It's not, it takes time to learn how to do it, because when you're a junior faculty, you think, you tell them your great idea and everybody will appreciate. In practice, you have a lot of work to do to figure out what's important for practitioners, people who really want to work with this. But you can tell stories, you can bring your experience and excite them with some interesting research questions and results. And some of them actually later on came to me and became my research assistants. In particular, since I do research in Russia, those who with Russian language skills or Russian background started working with me. So that's another part. Certainly your research identity is important here.